been lying here for too long. I don't know what else to do.
Well, here we go on the next leg of the trip down the Murray. So this is Robinvale down to Mildura. So it's pretty much about 6 days, 220 or so kilometres, and pretty much going to be remote the whole time. So no caravan parks or shops or anything for the next 6 days. So it's going to pretty much have everything packed in the boat there, all my water and everything. So heavy boat. But yeah, heading down to the first lock this morning. So in the next sort of 45 minutes I'll be at the lock at Robinvale, and yeah, looking forward to going through there.
Everything I can, but I ain't got nothing left.
Good, how are you?
I've been staring at the
Surely it gets narrower and faster down there.
I've been staying up all night.
It's a bloody lake. So this is the first of the locks. So this is lock 15, which is the Robinvale Euston lock, and it's a 4 metre drop. So just waiting for the water to go down. I am feeling very small right now.
I've been running circles, trying to catch my breath. I've been trying everything.
That's why there's a lock, so you don't have to go over that. So a bit of an update on the whole COVID lockdown situation, just because I'm going to talk about it now and then I'm not going to think about it for a week until I get to Mildura. So the current status is pretty much all of New South Wales is essentially locked down. Sydney are very restricted, but then country New South Wales is a bit too in terms of where they can go. So that's kind of made everything a bit different. So Mildura, my parents and Kath were going to come down and hang out with me for 3 or 4 days. They're not coming now, so I've changed my Mildura trip to be just 1 day, so 2 nights. So a usual rest day. And then it also looks like now South Australia is not letting anyone from New South Wales into the state. So I'm due to get to South Australia sort of middle of next week. So that's a bit of a problem. So I'm not going to think about it till I get to Mildura, and then I'll get to Mildura and then work it out, because fortunately my car is down there because Kath left it down there. So worst case scenario is I've got a car at least, and I can go and hang out somewhere or whatever, go home or do whatever needs to be done. So anyway, last I'm going to talk about it. I'm not going to think about it all week. I'm just going to paddle, get down to Mildura, enjoy 6 days of being remote and on my own, and then we can work out exactly what's going on.
What the hell am I supposed to do? I've been running circles, trying to catch my breath. I've been trying.
44 kilometres done today. So I am here at my campsite for the night. So it's just on a nice little bank here. Boat is down there. There are some houses over there, but whatever. But I should be able to find some firewood and get a fire going. And it looks like this rain that's sort of been drizzling for the last hour or two is clearing up a little bit. So hopefully it'll be a nice afternoon. So one of the things I didn't mention this morning was the fact that while I was in Robinvale, I actually did a bit of work reassessing my distances that I'm going to be doing over the next couple of weeks. So what I've done is between here and Mildura, and then here Mildura and Renmark, I've added a extra day. So that's taken it sort of from doing 50 to 55 kilometre days down to 35 to 45 kilometre days, which is going to be much more relaxing and much easier, less stressful, and more time to sit around and drink cups of tea by fireplaces.
I've been running circles, trying to get.
Well, tonight's dinner is a delicate korma curry with beef in it. So similar to the Rogan Josh I had last week, but this one is a korma curry. It's not bad. I think the Rogan Josh last week was better. But yeah, it's definitely a good meal.
Nothing left.
Another beautiful morning. So a bit chilly, but lovely, lovely, lovely. Got a bit of mist coming down the river here. So about 45 or 40 to 45 k's to do today. I'm just sort of, once I get to the 40 kilometre mark, I'll just find a campsite somewhere. But yeah, going to go fairly cruisy. But I've just been looking at the weather. It looks like I'm going to get beautiful days for the next 3 days, sort of 17 to 18 degrees. But obviously freezing cold mornings will continue, but that's fine. And yeah, so just gonna take my time to get down the river.
Don't forget your pride, 'cause I'm just trying.
Well, this is a very different day from yesterday. So glassy, nice and warm. Well, welcome to my huge campsite. As you can see, it's a big beach. So I've done 40 kilometres today, and I've got another 4 days to go till I get down to Mildura. Yeah, you might have noticed I haven't really had my filming mojo for the last 2 days. There hasn't really been much to film, to be honest, and I haven't really sort of been in the mood to. But I'm sure I'll get that back. But anyway, today I think I'm just gonna get the fire going, get my tent up, dry a bit of gear out. I've already started doing that in the trees back there. And yeah, just have a bit of relaxation.
I don't wanna live that way.
Well, that's been a good start to the day. So it was a beautiful sunrise this morning, and so of course I got the drone up to have a crack at getting some nice shots of it. And now the drone is residing at the top of this tree up here. And there's no way I'm going to get that down with the stuff that I've got, so I'm going to have to come back in a few days once I get to Mildura with the car and see if it's blown down, or maybe can get down with a rope or something. But yeah, it's the first time I've ever put a drone into a tree, I think, after about 6 years of flying them. Anyway, if I can't get it, it's covered by insurance, and I do have my spare one down in the car in Mildura, so the worst thing is it just means I can't use the drone for the next 4 days to get some nice footage. Oh, anyway. So I've got 35 k's to do today, and I've been messing around trying to get this thing out of the tree, so I better get going. But yeah, I think it's going to be a fairly cruisy day today anyway. Anyway, fun and joy, excitement. Well, I'm finally on the water. It's 9:45. This is the latest start I've had for the entire trip, but that was a bit of flapping around trying to sort out the drone and find the drone, and yeah, then it was a bit slow packing up. So anyway, yeah, 35 k's to go, and yeah, better get my skates on, start heading down the river. Doesn't look like much, but just there should be a marker sign that says 1,000 kilometres to go. So it's a bit of a milestone. I mean, the reality is there's a few little shortcuts and stuff, so it's a lot less than 1,000 kilometres to go, but all the same, it would have been nice to see a marker sign saying 1,000. Well, today was a fantastic day. You'd think that having lost my drone this morning would have put me in a bit of a bad mood, but actually I think it gave me a bit of a kick in the pants, because I've noticed over the last few days, or actually the last couple of weeks, I've sort of got into this routine of getting up early, getting on the water early, trying to get to the campsite, setting up campsite, having dinner and going to bed. It's kind of became a routine of getting from one spot to another, where having spent a bit of time flapping around this morning and trying to find the drone and that sort of thing, I ended up leaving a lot later. And because I've also shortened the distances I'm doing, now I realise it's actually much more fun just to enjoy the river. So, you know, finding a nice campsite, sitting here with a cup of tea, eating Scotch finger biscuits by the edge of the river, that's kind of what the trip's about. It's not about just getting down the river. So yeah, I'm sort of treating that loss of the drone as a bit of a kick in the pants to remind me what this trip's all about and to actually enjoy it. I think having this amazing weather is also helping, but yeah, God, the psychological part of this trip, I knew it would be a problem, but it's just interesting. It's not that I'm depressed or lonely or anything like that, it's just that once you get something in your head, whew, it just sticks there all day. For example, yesterday, I think even though I wasn't going to think about the whole COVID stuff, I kind of got it in my mind about not being able to get down to Renmark and into South Australia. So all day I was just thinking about it. I was thinking about the drive home back to Sydney. I was thinking about where I was going to get coffee on the way back from Sydney. So yeah, really weird how your mind just locks onto these things because it doesn't have anything else to distract it. Anyway, I am much happier now and going to enjoy my afternoon here in some bend in the river in some place on the Murray. Day 44. What a beautiful misty morning it is. So you might be wondering why, after my little speech yesterday about trying to get out early and down the river, why I'm already on the river at first thing in the morning. Well, a couple of reasons. Firstly, I was awake, and secondly, I felt like it. Thirdly, just look at the water. How could you not want to paddle on that glass? Also, yeah, I haven't got very far to go today. I'm only about 30 k's, plus there's a, sorry, I'm just looking at the map. There is a general store. It's at a place called, and I'm going to get it wrong, Nangiloc or Nangiloc. I've pronounced everything wrong, so I'm not apologising for that. Yeah, so it's in about 20 k's, and then it's about a kilometre and a bit walk from the river. So I thought, why not go for a walk today and go and get something nice for lunch and maybe something a bit fresher than dehydrated pasta for dinner. So that's the plan today, and yeah, I think it's going to be 18 degrees today, so it's going to be absolutely stinking hot. So another reason to get down to a campsite and chill out for the afternoon. Well, it's time to go up and get some snacks. So I'm going to walk into the general store. It's about 1.5 kilometres that way, but I could paddle a bit closer, but there's a big campground there and it's school holidays now, so I don't trust leaving my boat there. So here, in the middle of nowhere, at the bottom of a cliff, so I should be in a much better situation to leave my boat here for a while. that was a lovely break. A nice little stop at the store, bit of lunch, nice roast beef roll. But I did forget to get a coffee. I can't believe I did that. I got everything else, every other snack possible, but forgot to get a coffee. Oh well, I'll just have to wait till Mildura in a few days. Well, yet again, I've found a lovely campsite. So, nice little fire spot, nice spot for the tent. Looks grassy, but it's kind of muddy grass. And yeah, nice little beach. So, yeah, as you can see, I'm a bit hot and sweaty, so I think it's time to have my first ever swim in the Murray. That is cold. That is very cold. Oh, God. Oh, shit. Oh. Okay, that's enough. I'm clean. There was nothing relaxing about that, I can tell you. Well, I guess at least I can say that I've swum in the Murray, but God, that was cold. Good old teenagers doing circle work. That's just what I need. Luckily they're a long way down there, so hopefully they do not disturb me. I think they're pretty aware that I'm down here, so they'll probably stay away. Fingers crossed. Hello, day 45. As you can see, very foggy today. So yeah, I've got about, I don't know, about 35 k's to go down to a place called Bottle Bend. Hopefully there's not too many campers there. It's school holidays now. So, and being a Friday, I'm pretty sure there's going to be lots of people kind of coming out to go camping for the weekend. So I'm going to try and get down there early as possible, so hopefully just after lunch, and see if I can claim a spot before everybody else shows up. Well, as you can see, it's not foggy anymore. It's bloody windy. Headwinds. I keep saying it, I'd rather rain than a headwind. Well, as you can see on the radar, looks like I've got some rain coming a bit later on today. That would be what all these clouds are that are forming over there, and what all this headwind is all about. It's all the front of that bit of rain coming across. So hopefully, I don't know, I'm just looking at it. Yeah, I should get it in the next hour or so, so I'll probably get wet before I get to camp. Hooray! Well, the landscape is deaf. Oh, cold water, Jesus. I wasn't concentrating, that water's all gone down my pants. Ah, it's cold. Damn it. Oh, shit. Oh, I got a wet butt now. What I was trying to say before that wave just went down into my boat and wet my butt was that the landscape has all changed, because there's a lot less river red gums and we're now in Mallee country, which means we must be getting close to Mildura. Well, we're a day and a half away, but we're getting closer.
I'm not supposed to think about you like this. The universe a bitch. Universe a bitch. 'Cause every single thought leaves your name on my lips. Universe is a bitch.
This is a bit reminiscent of crossing Lake Mildura with all the wind, and the rain is definitely coming.
Wondering what could have been.
This weather can bugger off now. It's actually easing off a little bit now. The wind's not as bad. Just I'm now wet and cold. But I've got about, I don't know, 3 k's to go till I get to my campsite. So, anyway. Woo. Well, what a day. What do we have? Fog, sun, wind, rain, wind, more rain, and now it's fining up. There's actually a bit of blue sky up there now and no wind. So I'm at Bottle Bend, which is a big campsite about 25 k's out of Mildura, and I think the rain has scared off all the campers, so I've got it to myself, which is lovely. So I'm just trying to dry a few things out before the sun sets, and now I'm going to go and make some soup and warm my hands up. There's no firewood here, so there's no fire tonight, so soup is the warming device. Hey, get out of it. Get out of my soup. So I should give you a bit of an update on my discussion I had with the Renmark police. So I gave them a call today just to see what their thoughts were about me crossing the border. And the very nice cop on the phone, Simon, said that he thought that it sounded reasonable what I was doing and it would be common sense to let me go through, but he couldn't really say. And he said it also depended on the cop on the day, would maybe have a different interpretation of the laws. But basically said I should fill out the application form on the South Australia Police website for crossing the border. So I did that, and that was instantly denied. So I've put in an email for an appeal on that, because I think it basically just defaults to no if you reside in New South Wales. So basically I'm going to wait for the reply for that, and I'm going to give it till Tuesday at the latest. So today is Friday, so I'll spend 2 or 3 days in Mildura, and if I haven't heard anything by Tuesday, then that's game over for now. I'll have to head back to Sydney. Otherwise I will continue down the river, so let's see what happens. Good morning. It is bright and early. I think it's just before sunrise. But yeah, today's the day to do the last sort of 30 something kilometres down to Mildura. And then I have a planned break for probably 2 days. I've got to wait for this permit to come through. And I'll either be continuing on or I will be heading home for a long extended break. But yeah, last night was bloody cold. I was in the tent and in my sling bag by about 7, I think, because there was no firewood, so I couldn't have a fire, so I just had to get in the bag and warm up. So yeah, it was quite an okay night, except at about 1 AM there were some campers that decided to show up and set up camp and make a huge amount of noise, which kind of was annoying. But yeah, up keen and early to go and get a coffee because I ran out of coffee bags, so I'm craving one now. I was wondering why my fingertips were so cold. I wasn't feeling that cold before, but I just looked at the weather and it says it's 1 degree and feels like -3, so that would probably suggest why it's so cold. Anyway, it's nice when you're paddling, it's just, as I keep saying, those little fingertips get bloody cold. There you go, Mildura.
Just to leave you first.
Hello! I did not do my video yesterday after my paddle. I was too tired and hungry, and I figured I'm going to be in Mildura for a couple of days, so I thought I may as well hold off till I'm awake and more refreshed. So, good paddle this week. I think psychologically it was a bit harder than things, but obviously I had a lot of weather. But had a good afternoon in Mildura yesterday. I went and picked up the car from our friends, the Bennings, who have been looking after it for the last few weeks, and then did a few chores. And then went and had a really nice dinner with some fellow Murray River expeditioners. So Amy, who you can follow on her YouTube channel at Amy Outdoors. I'll stick the link in the description below. She is canoeing down the Murray and has also got to Mildura. she's able to continue. She's a South Australian resident, so she can cross the border where it's not looking like I'm probably going to be able to. And then she had been joined for the last week by Anitra, she's paddled all of the Murray, except she hadn't done the Robinvale to Mildura part, so she joined Amy for that leg of it. So she's now officially done the whole river, and her husband Reese, and their little cute dog called Sammy. So it was nice playing with Sammy and also chatting war stories of the Murray River with the other expeditioners. So anyway, I am now just about to drive back to the campsite where my drone is either sitting in a tree or under a tree. Hopefully it's already fallen down, to see if I can go and get it down. So it's about an hour and a quarter drive back to the campsite. So I will make sure I include some video of me trying to retrieve that stupid thing out of that stupid tree. Well, that was a fun drive. A lot more low-range fall driving than I had expected to be doing today. So I am back here at the beach that I camped a while ago, and much to my delight, look what I've just found on the ground. And it actually doesn't look too bad a condition. I haven't got a battery with me to test it out, but yeah, looking okay-ish. So there you go. Here I was all ready to fly my other drone up and take fishing wire up and pull it out of the tree, but don't need to. That wind the other day was a godsend. So there you go, it seems to work. The only issue is it looks like I've broken the gimbal for the camera, so that's going to have to get repaired. But the camera works, the GPS works, seems to fly, so once it gets serviced, hopefully it's all good and I have just saved a crap load of money.
Think about me one more time before you go. Someday you'll know. Someday you'll know. Already know what I'm going to say. I've been feeling this way for far too long. And now you're gone.
Well, there you go. The decision has been made for me. I am not going to be continuing the trip down the Murray at this stage. So yeah, they're not. South Australia just are not letting up on the borders. There's still cases in New South Wales, so they're not going to open the border. And yeah, they haven't got back to me on my appeal, so I've pretty much run out of time now, so that's all right. As you can probably tell from the video, I pretty much was resigned to the fact that I wasn't going to be going down the river, so I've had a few days to process it, and to be honest, I'm actually now just kind of sick of thinking about it and just looking forward to getting home and being with the family, seeing the dog, and just getting on with other things in life. So the plan is basically I will restart the trip from Mildura, I don't know, in September or October. Got a few things to do in the next month or so, so I'm already 2 and a bit weeks behind my original schedule, and I can't really afford to just keep hanging around waiting for borders to open. So I'd much rather continue when it's all a bit cruisier and a bit easier, and I can think about the river and not think about will they or won't they let me through a border. So anyway, there's a few things I did want to just sort of say. I haven't had a chance to, but there's lots of people I really want to actually thank. I know it sounds a bit like an academy speech, but I really need to thank my family for supporting me through this. Doing a trip like this is a very selfish thing to do. Selfishness isn't necessarily a bad thing. I think you've got to do these sorts of things just to get your own head right so you're a better person. But yeah, my wife Kath, she has done a lot of support in the background, just dealing with my shit over Facebook Messenger and FaceTime and stuff, and done a lot of driving and flying to come and see me and drop me off and pick up bikes and pick up hiking packs and give me kayaks and stuff like that. So you know, she's awesome, and she's done a great job for me there. And she's also looked after the home and looked after everything in real life back in Sydney. So yeah, that's great of her. And obviously James at home as well. He's busy living life, but giving me a bit of support in the background too, so that's always nice. And then Mum and Dad have also been the retrieve crew that have been driving backwards and forwards to, I don't know, Toowong and Echuca and Bargara and all sorts of places. So they've been doing a lot of miles just to come and help me out, so they've been great as well. And then also just people generally who've been watching these videos and reading my blogs and giving me all the support and questions and encouragement and things like that. It's just been great doing this as part of the journey. So I've never felt alone, because there's always a million people to chat to and answer questions and stuff, and that's kind of what I'd hoped would happen with all this, is people would be able to enjoy the journey from their armchairs in their COVID lockdown places or not lockdown places, and just generally enjoy what we've been doing. And yeah, and the other people are the other Murray River expeditioners who have been giving me a lot of advice, and been catching up with them down the river, and just really, it's been really valuable and really cool just to meet up with people that have got a common interest. And you know, everybody likes sharing their information, everyone likes helping each other, so it's been really good from that perspective. So anyway, it's not over, it's just paused again, and yeah, I'm definitely going to be picking this up and doing this last sort of 4 weeks and the last 900 plus or 800 plus kilometres down to the Murray mouth, maybe in October, maybe when it's a little bit warmer. Alright, well, it's time to head back to Sydney, so talk to you soon. And yeah, this isn't over, we're going to get down this bloody river.